Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial of computer networks. Computer networks is considered as one of the basic subject of computer engineering. So before seeing what is computer network, we will see a brief history. So in around 1960s, US Department of Defense wanted a mechanism that could survive a nuclear attack, which means if there is an attack, their data which is stored in the computer could be saved, because when there is attack they cannot download the data to the storage device and move data from the one place to another place. So they wanted a solution so that data can be transferred from one location to another location at very high speed. So they came up with the idea of connecting computers together so that the file can be shared to the multiple computers. And in 1969, US Advanced Research Project Agency, which is now also known as ARPA, created a ARPANET. It was the first network connected between four universities. Universities were the University of California, Stanford, University of Utah, and University of California, another campus. So what is computer network? When two or more computers or two or more devices that are connected together to share information is known as computer network. But you cannot transfer data directly when you connect two devices. There should be some protocol. For example, if you want to connect one device to another device and you want to send data from one device to another, you cannot directly send data. You have to follow some protocols, you have to develop some software. With the help of that software, you can transfer data from one device to another. So there should be some protocol, right? What is protocol? Protocol is set of rules. Now, let's see the classification of computer networks. Computer networks can be classified into three categories based on the role of individual device, that is client server or peer-to-peer. The second type is based on geography, which is LAN, MAN or WAN. And the last one is based on structure, which is different topologies. Let us see the classification of the computer network in detail. The first example of computer network is client server network. Now, as you can see, there are devices which are connected to one device. So let's say this is device A and this is device B. In the client server network, one device acts as a client and one device will act as a server. So particular device can be client or it can be server. It cannot be client and server both at the same time. So when the device A wants to access some data, it will send request to the server, and server will reply to the request of the client. So when let's say suppose the client wants to access web page from server, so it will send request to the server. Server will reply with the web page to the client. As you can see, it is very obvious that device A and device B cannot communicate directly. So let's say device A wants to send some data to device B. It has to send data to the server first. After that, server will forward the data to the device B. Okay. So let's see the advantage and disadvantage of client server network. Okay, so as we have discussed, in the client server, one PC is a service provider. So the server is a service provider and the another PC is service requester, which means this device is service requester and this is service provider. There is no client to client communication is possible, which is obvious. Advantage is that a great performance. In the client server network, the hardware used in the server is very powerful so that it can reply to as much as PC it wants. It can reply maximum PC at the same time because the hardware is very powerful and it is very capable of handling such a large load. The disadvantage we can consider that the server we have to keep running the server 24 by 7 so that it requires the electricity. And the example of client server network is a Google or Facebook, right? If you want to access your Gmail, then you will send request from your PC to the server of Google. And in the response of that request, the server will provide your Gmail account or Google account, right? The another example is peer-to-peer network. Now, as you can see in this peer-to-peer network, all the devices are connected to each other directly. So in the peer-to-peer network, individual device can act as a client as well as server. So let's say this is device A and this is device B. Let's say device A wants some information from device B, then it will send request to the device B. So at this time, the device A will act as a client and device B will act as a server. Suppose that device B wants to access some data from device C, then device B will send request to the device C. And in response to that request, device C will provide information or data to device B. So as you can see that in the first case, device B was acting as a server, but in the second case, it is acting as a client. So in the peer-to-peer network, individual device can act as a client and server at the same time. One more thing in the peer-to-peer network that all devices are connected to each other. While in we saw in the client server that all the clients were connected to the server, but here in the peer-to-peer network, all the devices are connected to each other directly. Now let's see the advantage and disadvantage of peer-to-peer network. So as we discussed, one device act as a service provider, which means act as a server, and device can also act as a service requester, which means client. In a peer-to-peer network, everyone talks to everyone because each device is connected to each other. Advantage is very easy to deploy and low cost. Disadvantage is security because there is no server, so anyone can communicate with anyone. The example of peer-to-peer network is a uTorrent. Now, let's see the second classification: LAN, MAN, or WAN. Local area network, metropolitan area network, and wide area network. As you can see, in the local area network, the ownership of the network is private. So local area network, you can see a local area network in your home or in your lab PCs, right? Geographical and the area covered is very small. Design and maintenance is easy because the number of devices which are connected is very few. Communication medium is coaxial cable, but it is not necessary that it is only coaxial cable, because in our house devices are connected using Wi-Fi also, right? Bandwidth is very low and the data rates are very high. Now let's see the second type, MAN. In the MAN, ownership of network can be public or private. MAN network can be think of your telephone network in your city. The geographical area covered is moderate, and design and maintenance is not easy because the number of devices are now increased. In LAN, number of devices were very small, but in MAN, it is very large. Communication medium can be coaxial cable, optical fiber, wireless, etc. The bandwidth is moderate and the data rates are also moderate. The last one is a wide area network. You can consider wide area network. It is a more MAN network connected together. MAN network is considered as more than one LAN network connected together. Geographical area covered is obviously very large. Maintenance and design is not easy because now we are talking a very large number of devices and it is not easy to handle that number of devices. Communication medium can be PSTN or satellite link. Bandwidth is very high, data speed is reduced. Now we are going to see the third category, which is topologies. There are 5 types of topology: bus topology, star topology, ring topology, mesh, and hybrid topology. Let's see one by one. So, as you can see in this figure, this is the example of bus topology. In the bus topology, all the devices are connected to each other using a single line. So this line is known as backbone cable. As you can see that server is connected and PC is connected, they all are connected using a single line. This backbone cable, you can see the end of the backbone cable has reflector, so that when the signal is passed, it will be reflected back. Now let's see how the data is sent using the bus topology. Let's say this is device A and this is device B, and device A wants to send some data to device B. So what it will do, it will send data to its backbone cable. But now it can be seen that this backbone cable is connected to the all devices. So when the device A will send any data, not only the device B will receive, but rather than the device B, all the devices will also receive data. So when the A will send data, it all the devices will receive data, all the devices. So you can say that security in the bus topology is very less because if there is some confidential information, then that device B, only device B is supposed to receive, but all the device will receive, right? Now let us see the advantage and of disadvantage of bus topology. So as you can see that in the bus topology, there is only one link is required, only one cable is required, which is known as a backbone cable. So the cost is very low and it is very simple topology. The disadvantage is that if this cable is failed, if this cable is broken, then all the devices were not able to communicate with each other, right? And if the traffic is heavy, then there will be collision, which means that suppose that device, let's say the device A and this is device B, and A and B wants to send data to device C at the same time. So they want to send data at the same time, so that what happens to the cable is that the data which is sent by the device A and sent by device B will be collided in the network. So when the two signal will collided, there will be some distortion, there will be noise, and C will not receive proper data. So this topology is not preferable for large network. In the local area network, you can set this type of topology, but in the wide area network, it is not possible. Now, as you can see in the animation, is that this device is sending data, but all the devices which are connected to the backbone cable will receive. So A is sending and all the device will receive, right? Now, let's see the second type of topology, which is star topology. Now, as you can see in the star topology, all the devices are connected to each other via a central device. So, let's say this is device A and this is device B. Now A wants to send data to device B. So the direction of data it is dependent on the centralized device. So for example, in this topology, let's say we have used a hub. So what happens in the hub when the device A will send data to device B, not only device B, but other device will also receive data. And suppose that the central device we used is, for example, a switch. So in that case, when the device A will send data, it will be forwarded directly to device B. So it depends on the central device. If we use the hub, then data will be forwarded to all devices. And if we use switch, then data will be forwarded to the particular device. But basic concept of star topology is that all devices will be connected via a central device, which can be hub or switch. Right? Now let us see the advantage and disadvantage of star topology. As you can see that if advantage is that if only one link is broken, then it will not affect the whole network. While in the bus topology, you just saw that if the backbone cable is broken, then it will affect the whole network. But in this case, it will only affect to that particular device. There will be less collision if the centralized device used is switch. The disadvantage is that the traffic is more at the central point, because when one device wants to send data to another device, they have to follow route through the centralized device. So there will be more traffic at the centralized device. And if that centralized device is broken or if it is not working properly, then the whole network is down, right? As you can see in this animation, the centralized device used is hub. So when one PC is sending data, all the PC will receive data. But if we use switch, then one PC will send data and the device that is receiving is particular only one device, not all, right? Now the third topology is ring topology. Now, as you can see in the ring topology, all the devices are connected to each other in this manner. One device is connected to another and another device will be connected to the next one, and all are connected in this way. In the ring topology, let's say this is device A and this is device B, and device A wants to send some data to device B, then it cannot send data directly. It will send data to this device and then it will forward data to this device, then it will forward data to this device, and so on. So as you can see that security is very low, because whatever the message device A is sending, it will be read by all the intermediate devices, right? In the ring topology, all the devices cannot communicate at any time, because if they start to communicate at their own time, or if all devices are trying to communicate at the same time, then there will be collision and the network will not work properly. Okay, now let's see the advantage and disadvantage of this ring topology. If the link is broken, then that node is not reachable from the other side of ring. That is the advantage. It means that if this link is broken, so data can be sent through one way only. But if this link is not broken, then data can be sent from this side or from this side, clockwise or anti-clockwise, right? So if one link is broken, then whole network is not down because another way is available for the data to be sent. The disadvantage is that it is unidirectional traffic. Let us see the animation. Is that this device is sending data, and all the devices, intermediate devices, will receive data. It can read data and it will forward data. So this device is sending, they can read, but they will forward. They can receive and forward, and this device will eventually receive. Now, the mesh topology. In the mesh topology, all the devices are connected to each other via a dedicated link. So there will be no centralized device. Okay, suppose this device want to connect it to each other, so there will be a link from this device to all the devices, right? For example, this device wants to send data to all devices, then there will be dedicated link. It is very obvious that if we increase the number of devices, then the number of link required will also increase. And for the large network, if you try to implement mesh topology, then it will be very complex and it will be very costly. But advantage is that each and every device has individual link, so only two devices will be communicating with that particular link. So there will be no collision, there will be no traffic, and one link is dedicated to that device only. So the communication is very faster and the data rates are also very high. Okay, now let's see the advantage and disadvantage of mesh topology. It is robust, fault can be diagnosed easily. Why? Because each and every device has individual link. If one device is not able to send any data, then it can detect that there will be 100% possibility that particular link is broken. Security and privacy, which means that there are no intermediate devices, right? So one device is sending data and data is directly sent to the another device. So it is very secure and it has high privacy. The disadvantage is that if the number of nodes is increased, then the network will become very complex and it will become very messy. So it is not very easy, it is not possible to deal with that complex network. Maintenance is very high. The last topology is hybrid topology, and in the hybrid topology, all the different topology are connected to each other. There could be some ring topology, there could be some star topology, mesh topology, bus topology, and all the topology will be connected to each other. Advantage and disadvantage you have to find of this topology from your own. Now we are going to see the transmission modes. The transmission modes defines the direction of data flow between two devices. There are three types of transmission mode, is that the simplex, half duplex and full duplex. Let us see one by one. So in the simplex communication, there will be one transmitter and one receiver. You can take example is that in the TV station there will be only one transmitter and your dish antenna will be only receiver. You cannot send data back to the TV transmitter, right? So there is only one direction of communication, which is called simplex communication. Another example of simplex communication is radio. You can receive the radio signal, but you cannot send the signal back to its radio tower, its transmitter, right? The second type is a half duplex communication, and in the half duplex, uh, each node can send and receive data. So as you can see that these two persons are talking to each other using walkie-talkie, but they cannot talk to each other simultaneously. If one person is talking, then another person has to listen only. And if the another person is responding, then the first person cannot say anything. So half duplex is a two-way communication, but this communication cannot happen at the same time. Okay, the example is a walkie-talkie. And the full duplex is a mobile communication. In the full duplex communication, each device can talk to each other simultaneously. The example of full duplex communication is your mobile, right? In phone, you can talk to your friend simultaneously. You don't have to wait for your friend to listen or to respond. You can talk and they can talk at the same time. So this is it for this tutorial. Thank you.